and welcome back to Rigno's Hoops. And this is the second installment of the What's Next series. I'm here joined today by my guy Tyson, owner of Handle Hoops. And he's a Warriors fan, so I wanted to start out with the two teams that were the last two remaining. And I started with my Celtics, and now we're going to be talking about the NBA champion Golden State Warriors. First off, Tyson, how are you doing, bro?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Doing pretty good, man. I'm excited to have you on the channel. This is definitely a long time overdue. Definitely one of the biggest supporters that I've had, so I appreciate you taking the time out of your day to join. And let's go ahead and just get started with, first off, talk about your NBA page, Handle Hoops. Talk about what you do and where people can find you on social media.
Okay, so I have this NBA page on social media, Handle Hoops, as Tyreek was talking about. I have an Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. It's all the same name, Handle Hoops. I just kind of post NBA news and highlights, things that happen around the league. And I also have a TikTok page where I post like throwback highlights and stuff. So go check it out.
Yeah, I was hoping you mentioned the TikTok because your TikTok be doing some good numbers. I be peeping them, man. I be peeping.
Yeah.
For sure. So I'm gonna leave everything in the description. So make sure you go ahead and check out all of his accounts. He's doing some great things. He's only going into college. He's been doing this for a couple of years now. So he's been doing some big things for a while. So definitely check him out. And let's go ahead and get into the Golden State Warriors. Obviously, it's a great ending to y'all season, NBA champions. Because the last couple of years for the Golden State Warriors have been kind of down. What was your reaction to just finally getting back to the top and winning the fourth championship in the last 8 years for your franchise?
Obviously, it's a great feeling when your team wins a championship. But I think out of the four championships during this dynastic run, I think this one's definitely the sweetest because, like you just said, the last few years have been kind of down with, Clay missing the last 2 years and then Steph breaking his hand, and KD leaving, and, and then we all thought last year that they were going to be aggressive and trade those 2 lottery picks and go after another star to try and compete now. So it's just been kind of interesting. I think at the start of the season, if you would have told me that team was going to go on and win a championship, I don't know if I would have believed you, honestly.
Yeah, that was my biggest thing with the Warriors all year. This didn't seem like a Warriors championship team, which is why I kind of agree with you. It's kind of the most impressive ring, I would say, because, you look at just the way they got there. I mean, Steph missed time this year. Clay was coming back. Draymond missed a lot of time this season as well. And just the way that they were able to win with like guys like Andrew Wiggins stepping up, Kevon Looney stepping up, it makes it that much more impressive. And then Steph finally got that Finals MVP, which he definitely earned it this time. You could argue he definitely probably deserved 2015, but this year there was no question. Like, he was the best player on the floor in pretty much every game in that series. So definitely very impressive by the Warriors. I'm kind of interested because you seem like you're one of the more confident Warriors fans I know. What made it like the feeling that you guys, this might have not been a championship season for you? Was it just the lack of moves in the offseason? Was it maybe the doubt of Clay coming back and being himself, or Wiseman not coming back at all? What was the reason why you didn't think that this was a championship season?
It's a little bit of everything, Clay missing 2 years. There's a lot of questions on how he was going to be, and coming back from 2 career-altering injuries back to back with that ACL and Achilles. It's like, we saw DeMarcus Cousins, like when he had that Achilles injury and how much it really affected him when he came to Golden State that first year. He didn't really look like himself at all. So with I wasn't sure with how Clay was going to come back. Like, was it going to be Klay Thompson of old, which we saw at times, but, at other times he would look really bad and he would have those bad games. I mean, in Game 6 of the finals, like, he didn't shoot the ball well at all. But it happens. Everybody has a bad game every once in a while.
Definitely. Before we transition towards the offseason talk, what were you expecting Andrew Wiggins to be as good as he was in the playoff run, and especially the NBA Finals, because he was probably the second best player on the floor at all times, it seemed?
When the trade happened 2 years ago, I wasn't a big fan of the trade at all. Because at that time, it was like Andrew Wiggins, I mean, he's not a bust, but like for being the number 1 pick, he hadn't lived up to those expectations that people had for him. And it's kind of more surprising than anything that he kind of took the leap he did in becoming the player he is now, especially defensively. Because back in Minnesota, he was not defending at this level at all. And the fact that he's become a two-way player, it's been special to see. I'm very proud of his growth as a player, you know, and I'm excited to see what he does next season too, with coming off of that, you know, great finals performance. I mean, I did not expect him to defend Jason Tatum as well as he did in the finals like that.
No, not at all. Yeah, I agree. I think the thing with Wiggins is like, I think he's found his perfect situation. Like, this is his ideal role as an NBA player, being like a second, third type option guy who he's kind of like the dirty work dude. Like, he's going to get on the boards, he's going to defend like crazy. And then you can like put the ball in his hands at times when Steph's not on the floor and he can go get a bucket for you. So this is like his perfect role. Minnesota tried to turn him into something that eventually we just saw he's not going to be that guy. He's not going to be a 25, 26 point per game scorer. This is his ideal role. So I hope y'all extend him. I hope y'all give him the extension. Probably won't be for the same amount of money he's making right now, but he definitely deserves that extension for sure.
Yeah, I agree. I wonder if he's going to get the bigger bag between him and Poole. It's going to be interesting to see.
If you was in the front office, would you give, first off, who would you prioritize and who would you give the most money to, Poole or Wiggins?
I would say Wiggins right now. Wiggins, he provides a little bit more than Poole does from an all-around standpoint. Obviously, Poole is a lot younger, so long-term after like Steph and Clay get older and stuff, Jordan Poole hopefully will be able to grow into being that type of player. But right now, I would say Andrew Wiggins is the more important priority.
And both are heading into the last years of their deals, correct? And Poole would be...
Yeah, they're both headed into the last year of their current deals.
And Poole would be a restricted free agent next summer?
Yeah.
Yeah, some team will probably be desperate and throw him like $30 million a year to try and pry him away. That's the season in review. So let's move on to the offseason. I would normally start with the draft, but I want to move on to free agency first because I feel like Warriors fans probably have mixed feelings because you guys lost a lot of people. Guys that were pretty integral. So which loss do you think might be the hardest to replace? Because the Warriors, they tend to always find a way to replace dudes. But which one of these losses do you think will be most difficult for Golden State to replace this season?
I mean, it's GP too. I mean, his defense, he was arguably our second, third best defender. I mean, his defense is going to be hard to replace, especially at the guard position because, I mean, Steph is improved as a defender now. I mean, and Jordan Poole is not a great defender at all. So hopefully we can find somebody. I've been seeing, like, Warriors fans are, like, kind of praying for the Jazz to buy out Pat Bev. That's kind of hitting an all-time low, but we kind of talked about that the other day with Pat Bev and Draymond being on the same team. That'd be interesting and kind of funny to see.
A lot of technicals, probably a lot of fights too.
Probably would break the record for most techs in one season.
Yeah, I was impressed to see Gary Payton not only get that money, but I didn't expect him to leave Golden State. I'm happy he got his bag, but I just thought this was such a perfect situation for him. But maybe he can, find a different role in Portland and even expand his game a little more. But I thought the Dante DiVincenzo pickup might be like a light replacement to that. He's not going to provide the same things that Gary Payton does, but defensively, he's active and he could probably provide a little bit of what Gary Payton does, but just not to the same caliber. But for a lot less money, though, I think it was like a 2-year, $9 million contract, like very team-friendly
something
deal.
Like that.
Very team-friendly deal. And the Warriors, they just find a way to always like maximize guys' values. Like we might be looking at that contract like damn, they gave Dante that much money and he's outperforming that deal by a mile. Like that's just how Golden State kind of works at times. So I think that was a good pickup to kind of supplement the loss of Gary Payton. But what he provided, though, you just can't. I mean, he was a 6'4", like power forward center at times.
Yeah,
playing the role, playing the dunker spot, and then he was even starting to hit like corner 3-pointers like at a pretty decent clip. So definitely,
and he was aggressive on the glass too at times.
Exactly, man. I mean, I thought it was crazy. I saw a post earlier today. He was in Summer League just a year ago. Like he was playing Summer League basketball, and now he's making basically $30 million. So shout out to GP, man. But
yeah, he deserves that bag.
Some other losses. I think the Otto Porter loss was kind of a little underrated, but I think he can be replaced, man. Do you think either Jonathan Kuminga or Moses Moody can really step into the light and replace some of the minutes that Gary Payton left on the table, and also Otto Porter?
I think it's going to be a little bit of a mixture between both of them. Also, Iggy, we don't know if he's retiring or not, so it's going to be. I need those two to hopefully not make a leap in year two. I liked what I saw from both of them in their rookie years. Moses Moody in the Mavs series, when he came in, he was providing some really good defense and just kind of doing all the dirty work, kind of doing his way, kind of getting out of the way of like Steph and the other guys and just doing his own thing, which I like. He played like somebody who wasn't a rookie.
Nah, definitely. I was impressed with both of those guys whenever they were able to get minutes. It seemed like they were ready to produce, which I think like somebody like Jonathan Kuminga could have easily been first team all rookie if he just got the minutes. He was so good. He was so good when he was playing, and he was somebody that had a lot of like question marks going into the draft. But he seems like he has a bright future. I think he could break out this year. I think Moses Moody could really like be a solid rotational piece just because of his jump shooting ability. I think his defensive versatility and his potential defensively, like he could be like the heir to the throne of Klay Thompson. Like he could be that good. I think so. Yeah, it's like the Warriors. Like what y'all always do such a good job of is keeping like your core guys intact, and then always finding ways to replace like the secondary pieces, like the Gary Paytons. Like in the past, y'all have replaced guys like Festus Ezeli and Barbosa. Like you guys have always just found a way to next man up type mentality, and that's why I was also impressed with the NBA draft. How you guys got like a lottery talent with the 28th pick, and then also got a guy from Toledo, Ryan Rollins, who I think is going to be like maybe a steal. Like I think he has a lot of really good NBA potential. Do you just want to talk quickly on you guys' NBA draft and just how y'all always seem to get richer in the NBA draft? Like, how do y'all keep doing that, man?
I don't know. I think you just got to give the kudos to the scouting department in there, and also Bob Myers. I feel like he gets a lot of crap from not just Warriors fans, but like in NBA fans in general. He doesn't get enough credit for what he's done over the last 3 years to rebuild this team and get it back to contention after KD leaving and all the injuries and stuff. But I like the Baldwin pick a lot. I think his biggest question is obviously his health, because I think he's dealing with like that. It's either an ankle or knee injury or something. So hopefully he can play in the summer league, because I want to see what he can do. I also did like the Rollins pick. I haven't seen much of his highlights, but what I have seen is that he can shoot the ball really well, which I really like.
Yeah, Rollins is a bucket getter for sure. I think the Baldwin pick, like a lot of upside in that, and to get him at the 28th pick was like pretty big. Like that's a pretty big steal. And yeah, Bob Myers is he's been doing just a great job over the last decade, just making the right moves, the right signings, the right trades. Like he's done such a great job with this team, and that's why you guys will have a chance going into next season to repeat and be champs again. So moving into next season, it seems like the rosters are teams are pretty much set right now. There might be some more moves. Like obviously Kevin Durant could be on the move. Kyrie Irving could still potentially be on the move. But moving forward to next season, what teams in the Western Conference or just the NBA in general do you see as a threat to where the Warriors might not be able to repeat as champs?
I'll start with the West. In the West, I would say Denver, with them getting Jamal and Michael Porter Jr. back. They're definitely going to be very dangerous. And I also liked the Bruce Brown signing for them too. I think that's a great pickup. And then obviously the Clippers getting Kawhi back, and we all know how great Kawhi is. And that Clipper team, I think they overachieved this season with how much not just Kawhi, because he missed the whole season, but Paul George missed a ton of time there too. And for them to still almost make a playoff push was very impressive. You got to give Ty Lue his flowers as a coach. But besides them, I don't know. It depends. I'm kind of hesitant with the Lakers, because it's like, I don't know if they're going to get Kyrie or not. But if they don't get Kyrie with that same team, I don't think they're really much of a threat. But if they get Kyrie, then yeah, I definitely would put them up there. I think the Timberwolves, obviously the Gobert trade is interesting. The pairing with Cat and Gobert, and then they still have Anthony Edwards. I think the Timberwolves are a team that's going to probably be underrated. I think they're going to be a little bit better than what people thought. Obviously, I didn't like the trade at first, and I kind of talked to you about it. But now that I'm like kind of getting to thinking about it, I'm interested to see how that new front court works with Gobert anchoring the defense, and then Cat knowing how good he is offensively. It's going to be fun to watch. And I can't believe I forgot the Grizzlies. the Grizzlies, yeah. They're another team that's a threat. They're going to be around for a long time. I can't stand how much they talk, but they're a fun team to watch.
Yeah, Draymond said they're a little threat to y'all. I think he mentioned the Clippers, and I think he mentioned Dallas too, being like the biggest threats.
Oh yeah, West. I forgot Dallas. The West is just so loaded, and then the Pelicans too. They might be a little dangerous with Zion coming back.
Definitely.
Yeah,
they're gonna be fine. Who knows, man? The West is gonna be interesting. I think the whole league in general. Like, there's only probably a few teams that like are expected to not be good next year. Like probably the Thunder, the Spurs. People probably aren't expecting like the Magic and the Pacers and the Pistons to be good, but I think the Pistons can be kind of competitive next season. I don't think that's too crazy to say.
I think they can be a play-in team next year if they can stay healthy. I could see them at least being a play-in team.
I'm on record as saying that I think they could fight for a 10 seed next year. For sure.
Did you? Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but
go ahead.
Did you see the video of the Kings fans the other day after the summer league game saying we're going to get 40 wins next year? I thought that was hilarious.
Hey, this is off topic. I think the Kings did a really good job this offseason. I really do. I think the Kings actually had a good offseason. They could probably contend for a playing spot, I think.
Yeah, if they can stay healthy, hopefully.
They should. Last question I have. Would you take Kevin Durant back as a Warriors fan?
I've seen the reports, and I'm kind of like torn about it because it's like, obviously it's Kevin Durant, but, in 2019, when he was here, we had no bench. So, like, when he got hurt, we were playing guys like Alfonso McKinney and Jonas Jerebko, however you say his last name, Jerebko. We really didn't have much depth at all. And now it's like over the 3 years, we retooled that bench and had that depth like we did pre-KD. So it's like, I don't know. I really don't know. Me personally, I don't think it's worth it long term, because after Steph, Clay, Dre, and then KD all retired, they're all like in their mid-30s. So in like 5 years from now, we'd be right back to where we were 2 years ago, being at the bottom of the NBA. I just don't think it'd be worth it long term. But like at the same time, it's like it's Kevin Durant, and when he was on the Warriors, there was no team that was stopping that. So definitely. I don't know. I don't think it's going to happen, but I am interested to see where he does end up.
At this point, I think they're asking prices so high right now because they're trying to like not get fleeced, in a sense. Like, obviously you're not going to get 2 All-Stars in return for Kevin Durant, right? But they'll probably lessen their want back a little more and probably get like an All-Star caliber dude and a bunch of draft picks, which I don't know. There's just not that many teams that can offer what they want right now. So it's interesting. I would be interested to see if he went back to the Warriors. I think that would be kind of. I don't think he should have left in the first place. That's my opinion.
I don't. Obviously, I mean, it's a little biased for me.
But no, I don't think, like, obviously for like his perception, maybe that's why he wanted to leave. But from a basketball standpoint, he should have just stayed and racked up his chips personally. That's how I feel.
Yeah, I feel the same way. But that's biased. I feel like.
I don't think it's biased. I think anybody that knows good basketball knows he probably should have stayed there. Like, that was the best fit for him. But I don't know. It's interesting. There's still some dominoes to fall, but the Warriors seem like they're ready to make another run at another championship next season. So we'll definitely keep an eye on that. Tyson, I appreciate you for joining the channel. Once again, be sure to check out his Instagram, his Facebook, his Twitter, and his TikTok. It's all going to be in the description. And Tyson, you got anything else you want to add before we wrap up?
I just want to say I appreciate you for having me on. This is definitely a long time in the making, and I definitely would love to come on again. Thank you.
For sure, Brody. I appreciate you. And make sure you guys leave a like, subscribe if you are new. And I'll catch y'all next time with probably the next installment of the What's Next series. We out. Peace.